Diablo 4 has been a huge success in the world. People said that it's the fastest selling game on the Blizzard store, and I wouldn't argue with you. However, with all these new people into the ARPG genre, they are now realizing that, oh wait, there's seasons, and my character's going to get deleted. Blizzard actually came under a DDoS attack because everyone was angry they were going to lose their Diablo 4 characters. We have a video here from one of the creators that is basically explaining what they thought about seasons when they first started playing ARPGs and what they think of them now. They used to think they were bad, and now they think they're good. I'm in a similar boat. When I first started ARPGs, I originally didn't like the fact that my characters got deleted and the seasons got reset. However, with the fact that seasons deliver new content, give new builds, and have cooler skins and skills, it's only gooder, man. It's only gooder. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoy this video where we go deep into this topic while watching this video. I add some topics of my own and my thoughts on this as well. Enjoy this video, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Much love. Are you enjoying Diablo? Do you even play Diablo? Anyway, enjoy it.
Hey folks, this is Riker, and lately I've been seeing a lot of controversy and talk. Hey folks.
All right, I want to watch this video based around Diablo 4 resets and the drama around it because of the fact that there was this huge DDoS attack, air quotes, because they were upset that Diablo 4 is going to reset.
And lately I've been seeing a lot of controversy and talk between new players and veterans about seasonal resets in Diablo 4. Players new to the genre are saying, man, I don't want to have to grind everything all over again at the start of a season. Veterans are saying,
Twisting Blaze Road.
The way it's been, this is good. And then all that's getting conflated with the argument against having to grind.
You did well, Sadie, nice.
Again. So in this video, I just want to talk about seasonal resets. I want to talk about why some people are opposed to them. I want to share my story about how I used to be opposed to them and what made me change my mind, and why seasonal resets are a good thing, and why the renown grind might not be so bad, or at least how the devs can make it
might not be so bad. True. Cap. I mean,
what are we talking about?
Look, the thing with renown, I think we should keep the bottom bar, and they just need to buff the top bar. So I said this before when we were playing. So when you get your skill points, potions, your max obals, and your paragon points, all of those should stay. So those who played the previous season, Pog, and then you should be able to get bonuses on the top bar that isn't just XP and gold. Like, they should be pretty, like, season related. Like, you have, if there's a mechanic that needs a certain currency, if there's a mechanic that gives you certain bonuses, that should be put on the top bar. And the bottom bar for new players will be empty. The bottom bar for seasonal or like previous players will be filled to where they finished it last time. That's just how it should be done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
ARPGs in general now, modern ARPGs have seasons. Call them seasons, call them ladders, call them leagues. There's some term where every few months there's a new patch that comes out with new content, and with that comes a reset, where if you want to participate in this new content, you got to make a fresh character. Everyone starts from scratch like it's a new game, a new account. Some small things might carry over to some degree, but the spirit of this is that we all start anew. You leave your old character behind. And so for a lot of people unfamiliar with this type of game, the thought is, well, wait a minute, I just spent like 50 hours on this character. You're telling me I can't carry that progress over into the new season? Well, I gotta choose between experiencing new content or not losing out on all my time and effort? Yes. I mean, what's the point in even investing into a character if I'm gonna abandon it in 3 months?
True. I mean, the rotation on 3 months is super hard for casual players as well, because like I know that people that are like only playing like up to 3 hours a day are not getting to any point where they can successfully say that I've completed Diablo preseason. Like, with season 1 just around the corner, people, and myself included, who have died a couple times in hardcore and lost a bunch of like characters, I find it hard to want to grind / play the game when I know the next season is just around the corner. It's the benefit and the negative around seasonal content, because people that have already finished the game early, that like no life it, like they're keen to reset and start again, and the people that are just finally approaching late game get reset and they don't want to do it again.
Because I got to make a new one, right?
Yeah, seasons aren't for casuals.
Concerns and very valid points. Some people play hardcore, where if your character dies, you got to start over.
Yep.
So they have that mentality of, well, I know I can lose all my progress and have to start over. But people who choose not to opt into hardcore, who are going for that softcore experience, that's presumably partially at least because they want to retain their
Softcore sounds
progress.
so
They don't
basic.
want to feel like their hours were wasted because their character is effectively gone. It can take 80 to 200 hours to grind to level 100 in Diablo 4,
Yep.
depending on how fast or slow you might be.
The
or
grind's too
techniques you're
big
using.
anyway.
It can take months to get a super rare item to drop. So what's the point
Years.
if you can't keep that progress? Now, when season started in Diablo 3, that's exactly how I felt. I've invested so much time, so many months into building up my characters. Why would I just let that go? When the first season rolled out for Diablo 3, there wasn't even really new content back then. That's something that developed more over time and mostly from other games.
That's my main worry as well. They're going to release season 1 and everyone has expectations that they're going to make like the series resets perfect on their first attempt. And it's not going to be, and so many people are going to be pissed off. Like people that, like, we're talking inside the Diablo 4 community about like certain things they'll roll over to their account. What if none of that happens? What if there is no rollover? What if they're just like, no, fuck you, new account, new season? Everyone will lose their collective mind.
New seasons became an opportunity to add new content into the game beyond just new unique items and new sets. Other games now have introduced the ability to have new game mechanics, new quests,
Diablo. Not Diablo,
fresh
Poe.
content. But
Poe's
back then,
sick.
we didn't even have any of that. It was just, okay, there's a couple new items you can find.
Poe was trash to
but
begin
there's
with.
Also a cosmetic
It's really good
reward.
now.
So I said, all right, well, I'm just going to play the new season just to get that cosmetic reward, and then I'm going right back to non-season. I'm going to keep playing my characters that I've invested all this time into. So I played my first season, and I literally never went back to playing non-season. I kept playing Diablo 3 for years without any significant break. And I would play at the start of every new season, and I would only ever play season from there on out. And it's something.
The good thing about seasons as well, it gives you the opportunity to realize that I'm only going to be playing this one character or this one build for the season. That's what Poe is to me. I might be like, oh, I want to play like a witch in Poe. I want to play a witch with a certain kind of caster build one season. The next season, I want to try more of a melee focused build, etc., etc. The reason why Poe is so good with late game and seasonal content, even though you have to play through the campaign every single time, and I want to claw my eyes out, spending 10 hours with a leveling build in Poe, it sucks. The reason why it's good is because Poe's late game is fucking goated. So now that they got rid of Watchstones and stuff in Path of Exile, it's pretty dope.
I think that just against all logic and reason, just experiencing it is what's gonna make you.
Yeah, good comment, Jordan. Since there's no content past level 70 or level 80, maybe you can like argue that pushing hardcore dungeons up to level 80 is pretty good. However, Uber Lilith is ridiculously hard, and the time taken to go from level 80 to 100 is way too much. The casual player won't be able to experience that content. There's no shot.
A believer. It was just so
Poe
fun
2 is going to be the GOAT.
to play a new season. And let's hit up on some points as to why that is. First off, it's just a fresh new experience. It's almost like playing the game again for the first time. That new game experience, that new game smell, isn't that always the most fun you have in a game?
Yeah.
You can hardly ever recapture the magic of your first couple days, maybe even weeks with a new game. And seasons, a fresh start, somewhat are able to give us some Xerox of that experience.
I love the word
for the
Xerox.
Zoomers, some artifact JPEG of that experience. And this is even more true now that in Diablo 4, every season will bring in appreciable.
Holy shit, he's clicking the ground a million times a second. Look at that.
So playing in a new season will not feel exactly the same as when you first played Diablo 4.
Man's got that
Just
rocket
things
finger.
will be different in the game. New character builds might be possible now.
Sheesh.
New strategies for leveling up your characters might be possible now. And these are things that if you just take your existing level 90 character and respec, you don't get to experience it or appreciate it in the same way. Diablo's a game about the...
All right, I want to pause here. I said this in my review video, which I haven't uploaded yet. I'm going to upload it onto the second channel, onto the secret channel rather. Basically, my idea was to change up the thing. You know how there's become just a huge metagame around gems and what kind of gems you put on. So you always use skull gems on your amulets and your rings because the extra armor is goated. You might use max health or mitigating damage while you're CC'd on the rest of your armor and then whatever damage you want on your weapons, right? So usually like greens, reds, oranges, and skulls is all you're going to be using. My idea was that we can, to change up the skill tree and stuff, you can put gems in skills. So all your skills, basic, marksman, all the skills, you can put a gem in there and it does a particular damage type. Red gem, fire, triggers a fire and leaves a little bit of dot damage and stuff like that. So certain enemies can now have resistances to certain kind of damage types, and you can counteract that if you want to do a dungeon, etc., by swapping out your gems into certain in certain things. And if you have a fire build, maybe the fire gem procs additional things on it, etc., stuff like that. To Poe, I agree, but Poe is goated and it has a really good way of doing stuff. But dropping gems dropping like the gems you have into your skill in the skill tree changes how the skill reacts, right? It changes it slightly, which is just a way of like making all the useless gems that are just sitting in your bank useful. And it also makes the leveling process from 1 to 50 and late game feel a little bit better as well. There's ways to grind certain things to make your build certain kind of elemental styles if you like. Then yeah. Oh, New World? New World. Perfect. Yes, actually exactly kind of like New World. Yeah, 100%. So like, say for example, you can drop a gem. It just, you know how it says like armor, weapon, and jewelry on the things and what it does? Just add a new line underneath that, skill, and what it does to the skill. That's it. So it might, if it's a shout, it just might do extra damage or something like that. That's the idea behind it as well. Like casting this ability makes you regain health. Casting this ability gives you move speed, like stuff like that.
Journey, not the destination. It doesn't start at level 100, and that journey is going to be
as new builds too, 100%.
By the new season. Another good reason for a fresh season is just fair competition. How could new players ever jump into the game and be on par with the veterans if the veterans keep their characters that they've had for years and years? It's just impossible to catch up. A fresh season, everyone zeroes out, fair competition. If you started playing the game 3 months after your friends, how could you ever catch up to them? At least, bam, you zero out every 3 months. You're all on an equal footing.
Good point.
It's not even about competition. It's about having fun with each other. You don't want to feel like the little brother being handheld through a dungeon. Now you all get to start fresh. And if you are competitive, well, now this is your time to prove yourself.
Bring back
All of a
Lattice.
sudden, the competition isn't who's been playing the longest, who's had more time in rank. It's who has the best strategy, the best techniques, the best builds. And if you're not competitive with other people, like I'm not competitive with other people, but I'm competitive with myself, every season, I just want to do better than I did last time. I want to level more efficiently. I want to push further. I want to make a better
He's
build.
adding really good
I
points
wanna
to make people
remember the mistakes
understand.
that I made in the past, and I don't want to repeat them. But probably the most significant factor of why we need these resets is the game just gets stale. Action RPGs
Facts.
just aren't designed for you to stay at level 100 for eternity and just keep farming the same items. Getting that reset every few months helps keep things fresh. And I know some people are arguing, well, the ARPGs should evolve. They shouldn't continue to be made that
No,
way.
ARPGs are, that's what makes them ARPGs. Otherwise, they'll be MMOs.
People point to the MMO model, where you keep your high-level character, new content comes out, you experience it, but an ARPG is not an
Yo,
MMO.
Borderlands
That's why I like
is actually
ARPGs.
a first-person
I don't like
ARPG.
MMOs, because it's much more about the journey. It's about the leveling
They just
up.
fucked
It's
it
about
up.
the finding gear, and you can't really keep adding on to that with expansions or with seasons every 3 months without literally raising the level cap every 3 months. And then something that's become a very important part of the seasonal reset is the community aspect of it. Every 3 months, we have this big exciting event that we all jump online and slam the servers for. An air
Yeah, loot and boot games. I call them loot and boot. Might be like loot and extract games. Like, well, I mean, when I say loot and extract, you immediately think Tarkov. So I'm just going to say Tarkov. There were some other ones that came after it. Like, I mean, wipes like those are really good because it does level the playing field. However, that is a PvP landscape. I don't think it necessarily tracks one-to-one with like ARPGs. I think what makes it work in PoE resets is the fact the market is continuously changing. If the game stays online for too long, or a season stays online for too long, everything doesn't cost money and you won't have that gratification of dropping like a really rare currency that you can trade to make yourself rich. However, you start a brand new season and you accidentally drop a mirror in your run and it's the start of the season and you can make enough money that it makes you the richest person on the whole entire server until basically server end. I think that makes it work in PoE. I don't see how in Diablo's world there's ever going to be a market that there's no tradable market. I don't see how there's not like a a auction house or something in the game. I mean, it's Blizzard. I just don't see how there isn't an auction house built into. I reckon they'll be sick. Anyway, however, I think they need to add an auction house. That's all I want to say. That's where my whole mind thought was going.
RPG's life cycle goes through these spikes. The start of every season.
Yeah, but trading rares should be extremely common because you can put aspects and whatever you want on it. Uniques, you shouldn't be able to trade uniques. They're unique, right? But you should be able to trade rares. Facts. You should be able to trade currencies. Facts. You should be able to buy the stuff that drops from Helltides. Facts. Like all this stuff, you should trade currency for other currencies. It creates a more diverse market and it creates like a closer community, and resetting the entire stock market every season is so healthy because there's no way that there's going to be something worth way too much, way too less. You need heaps of those, but everyone's bought them. You have heaps of them and you're farming them yourself. Like, people want to play a new season because they want to farm something before everyone else can. And it makes the reset exciting because you're like, okay, this time I'm going to be rich this way. Instead of it all being about leveling and getting your character online, some people play the opposite end of it. Myself, this is how I like to play PoE. I like to do something in particular that makes me fucking rich. Right? That makes me so rich. I want to create a really good item and sell it. I don't want to have it for my character. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone is eager to hop on. Maybe midway through a season, a lot of people have dropped off. They got their fix, they got their fill, and they don't hate the game, but they're just ready to jump in again in the new season. Now, again, you can argue, well,
exactly. You need certain attack speeds.
Just with a new expansion
or
a new content drop that doesn't force you to reset. But because of all the things that I've outlined previously, it doesn't hit as hard if it doesn't come with that reset. Now, specifically on the topic of the Renown grind, which a lot of people
wasn't that bad.
Blasted through. They just sat down, did Renown for, however many hours it takes in one shot, and they hated themselves after, and they never want to grind Renown again. And if we literally have to do that exactly the same way as we previously did,
just find a better way to grind it.
I understand why people don't want to do that. Devs are already starting to change what we are able to retain from the Renown grind that we've already done into the new season.
Renown's just a bad mechanic.
One thing that, we'll see when Season 1 is revealed, when the Battle Pass is revealed as well.
Battle Pass is shit.
Battle Pass is something to consider as well that we'll discuss right now. We need to see what the devs actually have planned. Hopefully they do have something planned in this regard, but if they don't, then there's an opportunity here to have every season somehow alter the Renown grind if the Renown grind will remain a part of the game. Maybe the Battle Pass offers alternative ways to get Renown that doesn't have us do exactly the same stuff we've always done. Maybe every season
there is just no end game. That's the thing. Like, right now, I don't even think we need a new season reset. Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to them not resetting the season and just like creating this preseason as a way to test late game content. Like, if they just want to chuck in 4 different bosses, right? How about, I just don't understand why there isn't a Ratchet & Clank style like arena where you can choose all the bosses from the game, click it, choose a particular hardcore level of it. Boom. Drop into arena, verse that boss. Get XP and loot. Every boss has a certain loot table. That's another good idea. Like, I just don't understand why they're not beta testing these things or it's not put into the game already. I just don't get it. Like, there should be a way to verse like waves of hell. What if there was like a kind of game that is just like wave survival? Choose a level, survive how many waves you possibly can. Depending on the amount of waves you survive is the amount of XP and rewards you get. Beta test that in this season when there's already people at late game. Because the problem is with putting new things into season 1 now, when there's so much expectation around it being good, is the fact that if you drop something that isn't good, the amount of backlash you're going to get is insane. Because for some reason, these idiots in the normie community have finally touched on Diablo 4 as their first ARPG game, and they don't understand why resets are a good thing. And if finally they're like, you force them to do it because it's going to happen. You force them to reset their entire character, and it comes to a stage where they finally get to where they were before, and nothing's changed, they're gonna be pissed.
Renown. Maybe sellers can grant.
People think 70 to 100 was taken out of the game for season 1.
Battle Pass. Remember, the Battle Pass as well has that, again, the free Battle Pass has that XP boost that you can get once you progress far enough along on the track, which will help
pay to win
grinding of the seasonal
what?
Because again, that was some complaints that it takes so long to level up. Again,
so drop the card.
Season stuff is going to help with all that and keeping it fresh, making you faster, giving you alternative ways.
If you can
to do
purchase
this
dinks
content
on the
that
battle pass,
you feel you don't want to do again. A lot of people just seem to have this
Blizzard
mentality
just...
of, oh, season 1 is going to be exactly what we've already experienced.
It's not. There's going to be changes.
We're probably a week or two away from the devs revealing, or maybe 2 to 3 weeks away from the devs revealing what season 1 will be about, and then we'll have a better idea.
No, it won't be. It won't be a month. The game came out this month.
Push to level 100 or level 50.
We're going to hear about it in like a month and a bit.
So overall, I just encourage everyone to keep an open mind about seasons.
The game came out recently.
No one's taken away your characters. Your character will always be there. You can always go
2
back
weeks
to that
ago.
character you worked so hard on. It's not going to get deleted, but try
Maybe
out
3
the
weeks
fresh
ago.
start. See if you get that same feeling of excitement that I got that made me never look back. Diablo is fundamentally a game about the journey, and a new season allows us to experience that journey again.
I feel like he did a pretty good job touching on some certain basic aspects of resets. Hey, Six, welcome back, man. What's up? I think he touched on a really good thing why resets are good in ARPG games and in other games like Looter Booter or Looter Shooter or Looter Extractor, whatever you want to call it. I think it's good because it allows the game to adapt and grow in an otherwise unable to capacity. You will probably, like, what's their option otherwise? Like, you've already got all your gear, you've already got everything, and then they just add one more boss. You do that boss in a day, and then you're done with content. Or you can, like, create a mechanic that runs from level 1 to level 70 with a new boss at the end. And then they slowly increase that, and every time they reset, there's a new leveling mechanic, something that you can see along the way, and then a new boss or endgame content to experience. Slowly it builds the game up, and resetting it every time is exciting. You can actually don't need to play the game 24/7 on every single reset, by the way. I don't play Poe on every reset, I'm not sadistic. I drop the game for like 2 to 3 patches, so they add more content in. There's 3 seasons worth of content, and then I play it, and there's so much new shit. I think that's the way to play the game and enjoy the game, and resets are actually really good for ARPGs. It also makes it more casual friendly if it keeps getting reset. I know it says like you have to be a hardcore player to enjoy every like thing of Diablo 4. You need to be a hardcore player if you play every single season of Diablo. You need to be a hardcore player. It can't be your side game. However, if it is your side game, or if you just want to play it casually, play a season, drop it for 1 or 2 seasons, come back, play a season. If it's some game you love, play every season. You'll be fine.